The worst part wasn't catching them together. The worst part was realizing how long they had both been lying to my face. And honestly, I would have never found out. If I hadn't forgotten my wallet that morning, at 7 a.m., I was already late for work. Again, I grabbed my keys, phone, coffee, and rushed toward the door when Emma stopped me. Wait! She walked over, fixed my hoodie collar, and kissed me. You forgot your lunch. I smiled. Thanks. She laughed. You'd literally die without me. At the time, I thought it was cute. Now it makes me sick. Emma and I had been together for almost 3 years. We lived together in a tiny apartment downtown. Nothing special, but it felt like home. At least, I thought it did. I worked at a marketing company where my boss, Daniel, treated employees like robots. Emma always complained about it too. Every time I came home stressed, she'd say, "One day you're going to quit that stupid job." And every time she said it, I felt lucky to have her. That's what makes betrayal dangerous. It comes from people who know exactly how to make you feel safe first. Around noon that same day, I realized my wallet wasn't in my pocket. I checked my desk, nothing. Then I remembered. I left it at home. Perfect. I texted Emma. M.E. Pretty sure I left my wallet at home. No response. Weird. Usually she answered within minutes. So during lunch break, I drove home. And that decision ruined my life. When I opened the apartment door, the first thing I noticed was silence. No TV. No music. No Emma. Babe? Nothing. Then I heard laughter upstairs. A man laughing. I froze. Slowly, I walked toward the bedroom. The door was slightly open, and through that tiny gap, I saw Daniel, my boss, sitting on Emmy's bed without his shirt on. Emma was kissing him. I think part of me died right there. Emma looked up first. Her face instantly turned pale. Oh my God. Daniel stood up quickly. Listen. No, I said quietly. My own voice didn't even sound real anymore. Emma rushed toward me. It's not what you think. I laughed, not because it was funny, because that sentence was so stupid my brain didn't know how else to react. Really? I asked. Because it looks exactly like what I think. Daniel grabbed his shirt. Man, let's calm down. I looked at him, standing half naked in me apartment. You need to leave. Emma grabbed my arm. Please let me explain. I pulled away immediately, and for the first time in 3 years, I didn't want her touching me. After Daniel left, Emma started crying. Real tears. I never wanted you to find out like this. That sentence hit me hard. Find out, I repeated. So this has been happening for a while? Silence. That silence told me everything. How long? Emma looked down. 4 months. 4 months. That's 120 days of lying. 120 days of fake kisses. Fake I love you. Fake everything. I sat down because my legs suddenly felt weak. You came home every night pretending nothing was wrong. Emma wiped tears from her face. I didn't mean for this to happen. There it is again, I whispered. That sentence. She looked confused. You talk about cheating like it was weather. Rain just happens. Cheating doesn't. Cheating is a choice. Hundreds of choices. Every text, every lie, every secret, every time she looked me in the eyes while hiding another man. I still love you, she whispered. And honestly, that was the saddest part, because I believed her. I think she did love me, just not enough to stop hurting me. You should leave, I said quietly. Emma blinked. What? I said leave. This is OUR apartment. No, I replied. My name is on the lease. Her face completely changed. You're serious? I stared at her. You cheated on me with my boss. She started crying harder. You're really throwing me out. That question almost made me lose my mind, because somehow she sounded offended, like I was the bad guy. I laughed again. If I cheated on you with your boss, I looked around the apartment. You would have burned this place down. The next Monday, I still went to work. Part of me wanted answers. Part of me wanted to punch Daniel. When I entered the office, people acted weird, whispering, looking at me with pity. That horrible feeling hit instantly. People knew, maybe not everything, but enough. I looked toward Daniel's office, and there he was, laughing like nothing happened. That's when something inside me snapped. I walked straight into his office. You slept with my girlfriend. The room went silent. Daniel rubbed his forehead. Look, man. No. I stepped closer. You shook my hand every day. Closer, you asked about my relationship. Closer. Meanwhile, you were sleeping with her behind my back. Daniel looked uncomfortable. I didn't plan this. That sentence again, like cheating was some natural disaster. Finally, he quietly said, I'm sorry. And honestly, that made me even angrier. Because sorry doesn't fix betrayal. Sorry doesn't erase memories. Sorry doesn't rebuild trust. I stared at him for a few seconds, then nodded once. You deserve each other. And I walked out. 3 months later, Emma texted me at 1:42 a.m. EMMA. I made the biggest mistake of my life. Of course, every cheating story eventually reaches the regret chapter. ME. So go talk to Daniel. After a long pause, she replied, We're not together anymore. I actually laughed. Of course they weren't. Relationships built on betrayal usually end the same way they start. Before blocking her, I sent one final message. ME. I spent 3 years loving you honestly. You spent 4 months lying to my face. That tells me everything I need to know. Then I blocked her, not because I hated her, because healing sometimes requires silence.